Okay, so this is SL 2.1 equation of a line. Now this is a topic that you must have covered in your grade 10, 9, 10 level, but yet it's better that we review it. Now the IB curriculum requires you to do all this. SL 2.1, different forms of equation of a straight line. Y is equal to mx plus c, ax plus by plus d is equal to 0. That's the general form. Y minus y1 m into bracket x minus x1 is the point gradient form, which is the most important form. Calculate the gradient of inclines such as mountain, bridges and all that. Correct? So they'll give you application based question on that. Now different forms of equation of a straight line, gradient, intercepts, lines with gradients m1 and m2, parallel lines, m1 is equal to m2, so if two lines are parallel their slopes are equal. Perpendicular lines, if two lines are perpendicular the product of their slope is -1. You must be knowing all this, but this is just reviewing all that again. Now you need to remember that the equation of the x-axis, so your horizontal axis is the x-axis. If you look here, the equation of the x-axis is y is equal to 0. So the equation of x-axis is y is equal to 0. Similarly, the equation of y-axis is the vertical axis, is x is equal to 0. The equation of a line, horizontal line, so horizontal line is any line which is sleeping line. So if it cuts at -4, so the equation of this line is y is equal to -4. Okay, so the equation of a horizontal line is y is equal to k, where k is the point where the line cuts the y-axis. So this line is cutting the y-axis at -4. So the equation of this line is y is equal to -4. The equation of a vertical line is x is equal to h. So all the vertical lines have equation of the form x is equal to h. Where what is h? H is the point where the line cuts the x-axis. So this is x is equal to 3. So similarly, if you have a line over here, this will be x is equal to 4. So all vertical lines will have equation of the form x is equal to h. So not to be forgotten. Something very simple, but yet children forget this. Gradient. Gradient is also called the slope. So the gradient of a line is given by rise over run. So if I give you any line, to find a gradient, you do rise, you take any 2 points, you do rise divided by run. So rise divided by run gives the gradient of the line. That's one formula. The second method is, if you know the coordinates, then gradient is given by y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. So you just apply this formula, you'll get the gradient of a line. Third formula is important. Sometimes they will give you the angle with the x-axis. So if I give you a straight line, and they'll give you the angle with the positive direction of x-axis. So this is the positive direction of x-axis. Then the gradient is given by slope is equal to tan theta, where theta is the angle. So for an example, if they say line makes an angle of 30 degrees with the x-axis, find its gradient. So you simply do m is equal to tan 30. Now tan 30 is, you should know the standard angle is 1 over root 3. So that's your 9th, 10th standard knowledge which is there. Intercept. The x-intercept of a line is where the line cuts the x-axis. So if I give you a line, let me draw another diagram. If I give you any line, I've just drawn this line over here. This is the x-intercept. So if this is, let's say 2, the x-intercept is 2. If I give you the equation of a line, so suppose if I give you the equation of a line, let's say 3x minus 2y is equal to 6. Correct? If they say, for this equation, find the x-intercept. So to find the x-intercept, you substitute y is equal to 0. So you put y is equal to 0. Correct? And you solve for x. So x is equal to 2. So the coordinates of the x-intercept would be 2, 0. Similarly, the y-intercept is where the line cuts the y-axis. So wherever the line cuts the y-axis, that's the y-intercept. Okay? Yeah? And you can find this by substituting x is equal to 0. So suppose for this, obviously, this is not the equation of this line. But you can find it out by substituting x is equal to 0 and solving for y, basically. So that's your y-intercept. So x-intercept and y-intercept. Lines with gradient m1 and m2. So if two lines are parallel, then their slopes are equal. So if I give you a graph and if I give you two parallel lines, then the slopes would be equal. So the slope of this line is 4, the slope of M1 is 4, slope of M2 will also be 4. So if lines are parallel, their slopes are equal. If lines are perpendicular, so if the lines are mutually perpendicular, sometimes some teachers say that they have to be mutually perpendicular. So suppose you have your line 1 and this is your line 2. So if the slope of line 1 is, let's say, minus 2 by 3, this is negative sloping, the slope of the perpendicular line will be 3 over 2. So it will be the negative reciprocal. So you take the slope and do negative reciprocal. So that will give you, or the product of the slope is minus 1. That's how you find out. So this is what you have to do for this section of this.